All right, folks, Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages here with you. We're doing a live stream for an update on an ongoing tornado warning that's currently up for portions of northeastern North Carolina. The main areas we're watching, Camden and Currituck, under the active warning for a potential tornado. This is radar indicated, so nothing confirmed on the ground there. This is up for another 21 minutes until 7:30 this evening. I want to switch up the radar feed and show you what it looks like in terms of wind speeds. And what we're looking for a tornadic signature would be conflicting colors right next to each other. That's winds that are turning in opposite directions, and it's a couplet is what we call it. So anything that would potentially be developing into a tornado would possibly be this cluster, this little couplet that now is pushing just offshore near Pine Island. That's where we're seeing maybe some very broad, rugged spin in the atmosphere. But again, we have to take that with a grain of salt because we are sampling this storm from our radar site out in Wakefield. The other site in Morehead City, pretty equidistant from where Wakefield is right now, so that's not going to really offer a better sampling for us for this cell. So it is seeing some sort of rotation aloft. Is that translating to the ground? Nothing's been confirmed there. We do have a radar product that could give us somewhat of an indication of this, and this is called the correlation coefficient. We call this the debris detector. And what we look for in this, you see the very uniform colors, the purples here, and then you see every now and then some greens and blues. But this is the radar basically deciphering what belongs and what doesn't. So it's picking up a lot of, excuse me, raindrops, hydrometeors. Anything that would be out of the normal would be indicated on this product by a different color, and you'd see a cluster. And sometimes when we get a tornado that's on the ground and lofts debris, we get something called a TDS, a tornado debris signature. We don't have that here. So there's no ground confirmation of a tornado, but there is a radar indication of one being possible or maybe even having touched down. It's not the only area that we're watching. We've had this line, severe line, roll through the entire area all evening long. It is now pushing along the immediate coastline, and we have active warnings from just south of 264 in Virginia Beach all the way south in Adair County through the Outer Banks. So this is, of course, a big beach weekend for a lot of folks tuning on in, getting the latest updates. You're getting the last of the storms now, so pushing towards 7:30, it should be on top of you and then moving offshore eventually. There's an update down to the south there now. You can see a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Nags Head, Kitty Hawk area, and Kill Devil Hills. Let's start in northern Virginia Beach. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning earlier that has now been canceled. So the oceanfront area, the resort area, is not currently under a warning. The strongest of the cell has moved east and offshore. Down into central and southern Virginia Beach, Pungo area through Sandbridge, down into Back Bay, severe thunderstorm warning here for you. And I will have you take note of how this one looks. This polygon has a red border around it. This is a tag that they put onto these severe thunderstorm warnings that there is the possibility of some circulation developing, and a tornado would be possible in this. It is not a tornado warning, though. Down south, here's our active tornado warning for another 18 minutes, still in for Camden and Currituck. And again, let's get another check on velocity signatures from our radar site there. I'm not seeing anything that's really indicative of a spun-up tornado that is on the ground. We're seeing a very broad circulation potentially here, that the majority of which has pushed offshore into the east of NC-12 there. Poplar Branch area, still some gusty winds for you, but your tornado threat is now pushed to your east. Olds area out towards Southern Shores, Grandy, seeing gusty winds for you. In fact, some of these winds indicated by radar, I mean, we're very far away, so we're not seeing a whole lot in these areas in terms of very gusty winds, but potentially still 30, 35, 40 mile per hour winds in those general areas. So that's the good news. Winds are dying out just a little bit. Bigger picture here, not much. Again, let's check the debris detector. Nothing there. Seeing very uniform color scheme, so no indications that there's any sort of tornado on the ground. Here's our newest severe thunderstorm warning, and this is up for Dare and Terrell counties. And you'll notice in the text box there, it does say the damage threat is considerable. And that's because you can see this line as it's blowing on through. I'll slow it down and show you here. As it's moving through Lewis Point, East Lake, and the northern neck of Dare County there, you can see the bowing signature it has on it. That is an indication from radar meteorology that that is a signature of very gusty winds. It's bowing out, the winds are racing out ahead of it, and it presents that way on radar. In terms of a sampling of the wind speeds, again, we are very far out here, but over the open waters to the west of Kill Devil Hills in the Albemarle Sound, over the open waters, you don't have the friction, so you're going to have stronger winds, 40, 50 mile per hour winds there. Yes, certainly some of those could be slamming right into Kill Devil Hills. Is it enough to blow over your tents that you put up for the beaches? Sure. Is it enough to rip shingles off of some of the beach houses? Sure. That's why there's that considerable damage tag on this. So don't take it lightly, even though you're not particularly in the tornado warning itself. You are in a severe thunderstorm warning. I want to revisit the tornado warning again. This is up for another 15 minutes now. It is currently 7:15. This goes up until 7:30 tonight. In fact, there it goes. They discontinued the tornado warning, evidenced by the lack of really any signature that they're seeing out at Wakefield, our National Weather Service office there. They're not seeing it anymore, and if they were, it is now probably pushed offshore into the east. So the threat for a tornado has now passed in these areas. This is good news. Tornado warning has been canceled for these areas, but you're not completely out of the woods. Tornadoes are still possible in some of these cells, like this tornado, or excuse me, this severe thunderstorm warning in central and southern Virginia Beach that does have a tag on it for a tornado possible. Even though I would say, looking at the velocity signatures, the wind speeds, anything that would potentially put down a tornado is east and now safely offshore. Down to the south in the same area that was under the tornado warning, still under a severe thunderstorm warning. This one is up. Let's put the numbers on it. This one is up still until 7:30, and it still does have a considerable damage tag for the risk of damaging gusty winds. So that's what that's looking like there. Currituck, Camden counties until 7:30. Some wind gusts here in the mouth of the Albemarle Sound, maybe 40 miles per hour racing towards Kill Devil Hill. Southern Shores area, Nag's Head, certainly very windy, frequent lightning. Place you don't want to be is out on the beach right now. With an umbrella up, the wind will just take that and take it as a sail and blow it right into the open waters. Moving off to the north, we do have some issues in terms of gusty winds, and that's about it right now, which is some good news. We're seeing most of the action move off towards the east now, safely clearing the area. We're going to pause briefly and allow our on-air audience to join us in a cut-in in Wheel of Fortune, so just 1 second. All right, folks, Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages here with you again this evening. We are in commercial break on Wheel of Fortune, so I thought it was a good time to give you an update on our severe weather that we've been tracking all evening long. Good news is all clear for most of Chesapeake, out in Suffolk, Isle of Wight, Elizabeth City, seeing things wind down for you, and anywhere west of there. You can see the line is currently draped along the immediate coastline, beach communities from the Virginia Beach oceanfront straight south through Dare County and through the Outer Banks, seeing a rough go over the last 20 minutes. No active warning currently over the the northern portion of Virginia Beach right now. That has been discontinued. Another warning that is up for central and southern Virginia Beach. I think the worst of that cell is now safely offshore. And then we've got an active go with a cancellation of a tornado warning that was up for Camden and Currituck, but replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning for considerable wind damage. Could see winds here of 60 miles per hour. And down to the south, still gusty winds there as well. No, we're good.